How are y'all doing? They call me Krexxi. I would like to invite you to try something a little different with me today. The gameplay in the background is, well, what you do in Minecraft. You mine, and I'm trying to get down to an obsidian deposit. And while I try to get down to this obsidian deposit, I'd like to tell you a story. I have this friend. We'll call him Bob for the sake of the story. And Bob is the kind of guy who will do anything for you if he's not doing anything else important that day. He's a real bro kind of guy. Well, the time came for me to move house. And, I asked Bob, like, would you mind to come help me move house? He's like, oh, yeah, sure. So we get to the old house, and we load the trucks up, and we start heading towards the new house. And he's like, oh, well, do you mind if we stop and get something to drink? I'm like, oh, yeah, no problem. So we stop at a grocery store, and he picks up this gallon jug of Lipton tea. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. So I pay for his drink, and we head back towards the new house. We get to the new house, and I realized the power had not been turned on yet. But, we had a truck and a trailer full of stuff, so we just unloaded it and started, doing everything you do when you buy a new house. As it starts to get dark, we bust out some flashlights and figured, you know what, we'll just keep going. Because we were already there, and, we're all comfortable working by flashlight, so we might as well just do it. So I'm in the middle of taking off the front door so we can get a large refrigerator into the house. And Bob says, I'm thirsty, I'm going to go grab a drink. I'm like, okay, yeah, no problem. So Bob heads off towards the dark kitchen, and I'm still, taking out hinges and stuff, trying to get the door off. The next thing I know, I hear Bob just hacking, coughing, dying in my kitchen. And I go in there thinking, he's choking on the floor on his tea or something. I go in there with my, with my little flashlight, and I get around the corner, and I see him bent over the sink, puking into the sink and shoveling as much water from the tap as he can into his mouth. And I don't know what's going on, I'm like, okay, did he have an allergic reaction to the tea or something? Like, what the hell's going on here? When Bob can finally manage to do anything other than try to drink as much water as possible, he just points across the kitchen at the counter. And I follow his point to his tea next to this gallon jug of lemon Lysol. And the lemon Lysol has its cap off. At this point, I lose my mind. Like, I'm rolling around on the floor laughing. Not because the guy drank Lysol, but because it was just, I guess it was the situation, not laughing at the guy for his pain, but more the situation of he comes in, mistakes a bottle of Lysol for his tea, and then just, takes a big old swig of it. So after Bob finally manages to get all of the Lysol out of his mouth, he goes over and promptly drinks his tea. And I'm like, you know what, man, you've got more fortitude than I do, because if that had happened to me, I would not want that tea, I know he just, he troops on with his tea. I guess since we're here, I can tell you the other funny thing that happened that night. Back to the refrigerator. We were trying to push this damn refrigerator against the wall. And, this thing is heavy, just unwieldy. So we get it up against the wall, and I disconnected the water line because it's a refrigerator with an ice maker. I disconnect the water line, and I set it off on the counter. As we're pushing this fridge back, the fridge hooks onto the water line, like the water cutoff behind the fridge. The next thing I know, the water cuts on, and the damn hose starts going crazy. And it's still dark, mind you. And there's no lights on other than a couple of flashlights over on the counter. And I'm fumbling around in the dark trying to wrangle a snake that's spitting water everywhere. I felt like Steve Irwin, just, crikey, it's a water line. It was Bob's turn to just laugh his ass off at me as I'm trying to wrangle this rubber water spewing monster and screaming at Bob, pull the fridge out, turn the goddamn water off. I finally get the thing in my hands, try to cover it up with my thumb. It doesn't work. I spray myself in the face with water. It was just a tragic time. Alright, that'll about do it for me. If you enjoyed the stories, if you want to hear more, leave a comment down below or leave a like on the video. And just to let me know that this is something that you enjoy. I've been Krexxi, and I'll see you guys later.